Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
To start things off, Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
To start things off, Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
To start things off, Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
To start things off, Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
To start things off, Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
To start things off, Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
To start things off, Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
Good afternoon, Raiders. We have a matinee for you. And that's a bucket there in the inside. We're excited to be back with you, Sam Stern. I'm so glad to be broadcasting with you. First time since break. We've had some difficulty broadcasting you, coming to you live from Lou Kellogg Stadium. But we're here. Alonzo Paul to Blakely Stoughton, who's averaging a nice 10 points per game. I'll talk more about him at the next timeout. Will Barbera working the dribble to Michael Wolf. A little post fadeaway is good. Michael Wolf starting off the afternoon with a small mid-range jumper. You talk about Michael Wolf, a smooth shooter, a smooth player who can shoot anywhere around the floor. He's a great free throw shooter, three-point shooter, and he can even shoot in the mid-range as well. We'll see what else he can do. This is Columbine High School working it over to Luke O'Brien, the future CU Buff, and he gets it in the post. His first two of the game. Luke O'Brien is a mega scorer, averaging 28 points per game. He's solid, he's skilled, and that's a foul. Will Barbera. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Sam Stern, Patrick Carlson helping us out as usual, alongside Jack Fate.
Can you check spend to zoom in?
Here we go. Will Barbera over to Ty Bergman. He can shoot that three ball, but misses on that one. Blakely Stoughton working for the board, and Luke O'Brien comes up with it. You're looking at a multi-dimensional forward coming up with the ball. He's 6'8". He can handle the ball, cross over into the paint, pass it inside, and an offensive foul. Great defense from the Raiders. That's Will Barbera taking it strong. Luke O'Brien, his first foul of the game. Excellent defense, and you're going to hear more when Jake comes in later. That is something the Raiders need to do tonight. Take charges, be powerful, be strong. This team is talented. Blakely Stoughton looking for an open player. It's Will Barbera up top. The senior, he's been put into the lineup. Crossover dribble. Hezzy, jumper, good. Rattles it in from the top of the key. Will Barbera is talented. Nice shot from Will. He's great. The senior played varsity last year. He's a two-year varsity man. Talented. Was a baseball player his first 2 years at Regis. Then started to solely focus on basketball. Luke O'Brien trying to show the touch. Here comes Will Barbera running. Barbera, no look pass. Blakely off on the layup. Great pass from Will Barbera. This is number 2 for Columbine, Tristan Alward. Recovers it, almost a turnover. Watch out for Garrett Rogers, who's also on the floor. Garrett Rogers, a talented three-point shooter. He's shooting 48% and a turnover foul. Great defense from the Raiders as Michael Wolf showing the excitement. Gosh, we're so excited to be with you once again, as we mentioned. Haven't been able to broadcast the last couple, but we're so glad to bring it to you live here. We had a great last game, a win over George Washington for our first win of the season, 53-45. Outscored them 21-10 in the fourth quarter. Just great, excellent, confident play. Wolf with 15, Bergman with 10, and Stoughton with 12. Stoughton and Bergman had double-doubles with 10 rebounds per. Michael Wolf thought about a three-point shot. Alonzo Paul crossover dribble fake. He got it! Alonzo Paul working the shifty dribble, and he scores the 2. Great play by Alonzo for his first bucket of the game. He's now been inserted into the starting lineup, and Coach Shaw really wanting to test out that side of Alonzo's game. He's been a bench player primarily this season, but seeing what he can do at that starting point guard position with Will Barbera playing that shooting guard, they're hoping that maybe getting Will going with him taking shots on that left and right wing side can really help this offense gun up the court every time, and let's see what they can do. Will Barbera working up the court. He has one basket mid-range on the game. They're looking to get a double-digit night from him. Will Barbera, step-back crossover. Oh, Will Barbera. The step-back jack on that one. Will Barbera. 4 quick points to start this one off. He's being aggressive tonight. As you can see, Jack's action shots, getting a good shot of that one. Blakely Stoughton has Alonzo Paul, gets it to him. Alonzo, pump fake. And it's going to be out of bounds on Alonzo. Little interesting call there, but great defense nonetheless on that play from Alward, and they will come up the court. As I mentioned, the 2 primary offensive players, Luke O'Brien, 27 points per game, 48% field goal percentage, and only shooting 31% from 3, and then Garrett Rogers, 10 points per game and 48% from 3. You got to watch out for Rogers at the top of the key, as there's another foul on the Raiders, and that one's going to be on Alonzo Paul, the junior. Again, for those of you who haven't tuned in the last couple games, we do have a couple new players on this varsity roster. You talk about Clay Nanke. He's now going to be swinging JV and varsity, like Tavian Wilsey, Andrew Lycum, Archer Van Sickle, who also gets minutes at times. We got Clay Nenke, who's going to be a great player. He's an above-the-rim player. He's going to board it for you. He's going to block shots. He's going to take it inside. He's shooting 50% on JV. He's talented. Luke O'Brien, pump fake, take it inside, strong. Deep strip it. Great defense from the Raiders. Will Barbera being aggressive. He saves it. What a play from the Raiders. Michael Wolf fakes a three. Great patience from Michael Wolf. He could have taken it there, but decides to get it over to Will Barbera. Being patient. Barbera to Alonzo Paul, working the dribble. Let's see what he can do with it. Alonzo Paul, how about a three? No good. And here comes Columbine. Kyle Sandler's about to check in, and we will talk about him more as we move along in this game. A great three-point shooter, a great stretch four for this Raiders team. Columbine working it around, trying to get an option. Allward looking for an option, gets it over to Luke O'Brien. He has one basket on the game, trying to make it two. Almost an N1, and he'll go to the line. And we talk a little bit more about Luke O'Brien, a very talented, versatile man. He's 6'8", people. But not only is he 6'8", he's not playing that power forward or center position. He's playing like that Ben Simmons role. You're talking about a guy who's going to be able to carry it up the floor for you. Very patient, very talented. He has the handles, he has the shot, he has the talent. That's why he's going to CU Boulder next year as their star recruit out of Colorado. And you talk about a team that has beaten every single team so far this season except for Rangeview, who is a talented team, and we've lost to them this season. They're great, but they've beaten teams like Overland, who we've lost to. They've beaten Legend, led by Cameron Levan, their star point guard, and they've beaten Castleview. 3 of their big-name wins this season. If they can keep that up, they are definitely a playoff contender this year, maybe even a championship contender, as that's... Let's see if they're going to count that a turnover for the Raiders. It is. So turnover there as we see Roman Hamilton check into the game. He's going to come in for Alonzo Paul, a little guard swap. Some more news to you as well. Chase Allen, our backup center, really was starting to come alive this season. We're going to be without him for the remainder of the season, most likely. He's out officially 5 weeks until he gets checked up again. But because he's such a star baseball player, again, as you know, he's going to Michigan next year. As there's a three-point shot that's no good, and Blakely Stoughton boards it. So he's going to wait it out, probably sit out the rest of the season, and recover that finger injury. He injured it in a game against Cherry Creek, a devastating injury. You know, he was really starting to fill in that backup center role behind Ty Bergman. That was a great rotation. You know, my favorite part about it, too, is when they would put in Ty Bergman and Chase Allen at the same time. I really liked that big man duo down low. Kind of reminded me of a Boogie Cousins, Anthony Davis back when they were on New Orleans. Just a great matchup, kind of like the Anthony Davis-JaVale. Just kind of like the three there that's no good from Kyle Sandler, and Luke O'Brien skies for the rebound. Luke O'Brien working the Under Armour jersey tonight. Crossover dribble into the middle, kick out. He's the floor facilitator and primary scorer for this Columbine team. He does it all. He's shooting 31% from the three-point line, not lethal. Great defense from Will Barbera, gets the steal. He has Michael Wolf on his left, bounce pass. And he misses it, and a foul on Will Barbera over the back. Great pass from Will Barbera to Michael Wolf inside, just a barely missed layup. As you'll see Archer Van Sickle, the other shooter on this team, check in. He's a star shooter. He played in JV before this game. He's talented. He can shoot the three ball. He's shifty in the middle. He can get his own basket. He can even go inside and get some easy layups in the middle. We'll see if he can do it here on Varsity. Will Barbera, Kyle Sandler, Blakely Stoughton, Archer Van Sickle, and Roman Hamilton. 8 seconds left to go. Luke O'Brien with Blakely Stoughton playing great defense. Luke O'Brien for three. No good. And that's it. 8-6. Regis has the lead as they hold Luke O'Brien to 4 points in that first quarter. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are so glad that you decided to spend your matinee today with us here for some Raider basketball. Again, hockey's playing tonight too. We got some social media coverage going on. Check in on that. I think we got Sophia Marcinet covering that today. She's a big Cherry Creek girl. I'm surprised she doesn't go there for school, but she doesn't. She goes to Regis. So make sure to follow her coverage. Hopefully the Raiders can pull out a second win in a row, and our girls basketball team always doing some great things as well. We're going to take a quick break. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sam Stern, Patrick Carlson, and Ben Gelfand. Thank you. Some second quarter action coming to you live once again. Guy Gibbs Arena. I said Luke Kellogg earlier. I don't know what's going on. I ate some Five Guys, still recovering. Gosh, those French fries were delicious. Patrick and I were indulging during the pregame. Gosh, they're so delicious. Maybe we'll do it as our halftime show. You can watch us eat our Five Guys. Roman Hamilton. Travel. So Roman Hamilton, you know, you're going to hear Jake and I talk about it when he gets here. And, you know, he's a great defender, don't get me wrong, but his offense, he's still finding that offensive groove. I think if this team can get him going on the offensive end, they're at a whole new level. We'll see what he can do. It would really help this team's rotation. Luke O'Brien still on the floor. He'll play pretty much the entire game, as you'll see, and they're going to put Blakely Stoughton on him, our primary defender. He's just been fantastic. He's been one of our most consistent players. Even through our losing record, he has just been such a positive this season. He's been fantastic. Luke O'Brien into the middle. Foul. Send him to the line. We'll see what this team can do. It's going to be the second on Will Barbera as he'll check out most likely, and Alonzo Paul will check back in along with Michael Wolf. Two young stars. We're going to talk about it often this season. We already have. You talk about a really young roster. A lot of guys who are building for the future, you could say, and you got to be excited. Alonzo Paul, Michael Wolf, and Patrick just brought it to my attention. It is pretty remarkable as Lorenz shoots one more free throw as he misses the first. 6'4" senior. The hair of Lorenz is just it's designer quality hair. He must be in the fashion realm is all I can say. Kyle Sandler over to Michael Wolf working the dribble. Great off-ball player is Michael Wolf. Had the chance for the three. Archer over to Kyle Sandler working the dribble. He's made 21 three-pointers this season at a 34% clip. Archer Van Sickle over to Kyle Sandler. They're taking their time, but Blakely Stoughton has the skill to take it all the way, and he shows it there as he gets it for two. What a take from Blakely Stoughton. Blakely had an excellent game against George Washington, put up 12 and 10, a nice double-double for this squad. He's just been very consistent, very solid as our student body's starting to show up. And a three there on the side. That's number 2. Rogers, 48% from 3 in his first bucket of the game. Great passing. Alonzo Paul's fouled. They about dragged him off the floor. And it will be underneath. Alonzo Paul, Archer Van Sickle, Michael Wolf, Blakely Stoughton, and Kyle Sandler, your 5 on the floor as we get a sub for Columbine. That's 24 Potts. Coming on for Luke O'Brien, who's going to get a short break. They're going to need him on the floor for most of the game if they want to beat this up-and-coming Raiders roster. Michael Wolf off the inbound play fadeaway. Tries to save it, but he gets it right to Lorenz, and here comes Columbine in transition to Potts. Potts, spin move, travel. Took an extra step, and it will be Clay Nanke checking in for the first time for Varsity. They're going to supply some big man minutes in the middle. Clay Nanke, 6'7". He can dunk the ball. Missed a dunk in the JV game, but has the hops to do it. And let's see if he can get his first varsity points today. Alonzo Paul over to Michael Wolf, who wasn't watching, but they get it to him. Clay Nanke in the middle. He's a post presence for sure, but he's going to block shots and rebound most of the time. Clay Nanke to Alonzo Paul. Kyle Sandler to Clay, pump fake. To Michael, 3. No good. Great passing from Clay Nanke in the middle. Rogers comes up the court, watch his three-point jumper. He's averaging 10 points per game. He can do it all, but his three-point jumper is wet. That was Bryant. Kicked it, bucket to Alward for his first bucket of the game. Wide open from 3. What a basket from Alward. Alonzo Paul waiting on the play. They're down 13-10 in this one. Michael Wolf being patient, finding an option. Kyle Sandler in the middle, and they take it away. That's Alward. Great defense from Alward as Luke O'Brien's about to check in, and he throws that ball to the girls' division gym. There's no basketball going on today for the girls' basketball team, so definitely not the right time to throw that one. Great transition defense in the fast break for the Raiders. As Alonzo Paul calling a play. As Blakely Stoughton's about to check in. Alonzo Paul takes it all the way, and he'll go to the line for two. Bergman and Stoughton will check in after that first. Little bit about Alonzo Paul. You talk about a player who's truly worked his way up. He's a junior. He started out as a freshman playing sophomore basketball and showed his talent. He's always just been known for having wicked good handles. And then talk about this year, he's come on to varsity and he's been talented. He started off the year preseason with a hand injury that thought to have held him out a little bit longer than we expected. But he's come on. He's been great. That Overland game is just something I think about. An excellent showing. First game of the season against Overland. You talk about a huge team, too. 6 foot and higher that entire team was as he misses 2 free throws, and he just played out of his mind with his shifty handles. Luke O'Brien. And a warning on Columbine's coach, who's talking a lot to the refs. That's Coach Clay Thilkind, who's been leading this 8-1 team to a lot of wins this season, a lot of great play, but he gets a warning there. He better beware before he gets a technical. Looking for the big 6'8" Luke O'Brien. They've played solid defense on him so far. He averages 27 points per game, as I mentioned, and a travel. Another turnover for this Columbine team, and the Raiders have to be loving this turnover. The only way you're going to beat this team is if you play solid defense and make this team turn over the ball. Columbine shooting 47% from the field. Regis only shooting 38%. Not a great shooting team. But they played great last game. They're wanting to continue. Michael Wolf pretty. Michael Wolf, the fade. He's great. 4 points for Michael. His jumper is so smooth. If they can get him going from the three-point line, it would really make this game even better. 12-13. They need to keep locking down Luke O'Brien. He still only has 4 points in this game. Alonzo Paul almost the steal against Rogers. Helping back. Rogers a floater. Wow, that was pretty. With Alonzo Paul riding his tail. Paul. Michael Wolf having a deep one. Short. Clay Nanke the offensive rebound. Ty Bergman. Short. Not enough on it. Luke O'Brien in transition. Alonzo Paul. Great transition defense. Rogers. 3. Air ball. Luke O'Brien, the offensive rebound. Bully ball, and he gets fouled. Luke O'Brien being aggressive in the paint. As I'm getting a call from Dylan Cargarzadeh. Dylan Cargarzadeh. Sponsored by Wendy's. He is sponsored by Wendy's. Eats a lot of hamburgers. It's Dylan Cargarzadeh, Coach Starr. Yeah. Luke O'Brien nailing that first one. Coach Starr and I have been having a great time the last couple games when our broadcasts haven't been working. A lot of analysis of this team. There's a lot of analysis to talk about when it comes to this Regis team. As 2 free throws goes down, that's 6 for Luke O'Brien. And Michael Wolf turns it over. Lackadaisical play by the Raiders there. Will Weber is about to check in. They could use him right now. Rogers looking to Luke O'Brien in the post. 6'8", talented. Lawrence, mid-range, pure from the free throw line. This team is talented. They can shoot from the free throw line up. As we welcome in Jake. I'm so sorry, first of all. I'm so sorry. I'm so glad you're back.
Sam, I can say I was doing a little home cooking. I got to say, I wasn't late for bad reason. I drove down, obviously to the opposing teams, and I ran into a security guard, Sam, and I said, "Where's the game? Where's the basketball game?" And he said, "Come on, man, it's at Regis. What are you thinking?" So here I am, but give me a little recap. How's the game going?
Jake, as Will Barbera checks back in for Alonzo, the defense on Luke O'Brien, who we both know is a talented player, going to CU Boulder, as I've mentioned multiple times, 27 points per game. We've held him to 6. So you have to be happy with the defense you're being played. But a lot of the surrounding pieces, Jake, they're getting what they want. They're hitting threes, but how about Clay Nanke checking in?
That's right. I'm already loving the aggressiveness from Nanke and the rest of this team. I know, Sam, we've mentioned it on previous broadcasts. 9 out of the 10 Regis games have been within 10 points. So this team can hang with these good teams here, as you see the nice and one play there to extend the lead to 9 points.
Lawrence gets the and one. He's been solid this season, only averaging 7 points per game, but you talk about a great post defender and post presence. He can score in the middle. His range is about the free throw line down. That's his range, not really a three-point threat. But when it comes to mid-range jumpers and inside takes, he's great.
And I love the hair, too, Sam.
Yes.
I have to add that he looks like a character in the Hunger Games.
Yep, Patrick and I have talked about it. It's very fashionista.
I think we're going to all have to do that once we start getting the winning streak going here. Maybe extend it to 2 after tonight, get our hair going like that, and start up a little winning streak.
You're right. It's gone up to a 10-point game. Not terrible. Not terrible. This team, as we mentioned, Jake, they're number 5. This is a real deal team, and I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they've beaten Overland. They've beaten Legend, led by Cameron Levan. They've beaten Castleview, but they've lost once, and that's to Rangeview. Obviously, that's a talented team. They're undefeated, but you're talking about a team in Columbine, Jake. If everything goes right for them and they keep having a consistent season, I see a deep playoff run for them. Maybe even a championship run. I don't know. Luke O'Brien's the real deal.
I think you got to defend if you're the Raiders, particularly on O'Brien. You see 12 points on the scoreboard. The Raiders not doing a bad job of defending at this point. You just got to put more points on the board to show for your performance. We talked about it. Getting Will Barbera going, it's so important this year. You had him going in your only win this season. You can get him going, you're right back in this thing.
Will Barbera is key. He has 2 mid-range jumpers in this one so far. Great moves, and gosh, that hezzy move against George Washington last game. Oh, so nice. His handles are great. You know, that's the one thing the Raiders don't lack in are handles. They have a lot of great ball handlers, but the shooting, Jake, still no three-pointers today, and it's key. You got to hit your three-pointers. You got to hit the jumpers, and we'll see if they can do it.
Down 10 points here, 2 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in the second period of action. Raiders got to come back.
Michael Wolf
open look.
Thought about it, and he's fouled. Michael Wolf's drawing the fouls. How about this, Jake? The extended minutes for Clay. And I would assume that's because of the Chase situation that he's getting this many minutes, right?
I think you're right. Even last game we didn't see this many minutes for Nanke, but seeing that
big body in there. I didn't even think he checked in, did he?
I don't think he did the whole game.
No.
But if you're Coach Shaw, why not bring in the big body Nanke? We saw him be a tight end in football as well. The big body, he can get down there, get your offensive rebounds, give you some second chance points.
Another foul from Columbine. That one was a trip against Will Barbera, and this time it's free throws, as Regis is the first team to be in the bonus. Let's see if Will Barbera can convert on free throw. That was a problem last game, Jake, except for the fourth quarter.
1-and-1. Cannot get it to go.
Let's see if the Raiders recover it. That's out of bounds on Luke O'Brien.
Ball.
Yes, it is.
You talk about that hustle, Sam. That's what brings the team down. They're down 10 points. It's a tough hill to climb, but it's nothing too hard for this Raiders team if they can get their players going. I think they bring Alonzo Paul back in to close this first half out. Sam, he's been a force all season long.
He has. Kyle Sandler, a 35% three-point shooter. He's hit 21 this season alongside Michael Wolf. Those two are the primary three-point threats on this season. And a turnover. Great defense from Columbine, Jake, and it just shows you Regis. This is something we've seen all season, just getting nervous and turning the ball over. It's something you can't do anymore.
You got to give kudos to the Columbine defense, being aggressive all afternoon so far. But if you're the Raiders, you got to set ball screens. You got to get people open, high-low picks, anything to get those guys open. As you see a great pass there down low, cannot convert. 2 opportunities in 3, and Michael Wolf finally corrals that rebound.
Kyle Sandler coming up the court, crossover dribble, 2 through the legs. Michael Wolf, deep, and no good.
That was a shot. That's a good shot if you're the Raiders. 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Luke O'Brien, how about a pull-up? Boom, Luke O'Brien! He pulled up from San Diego, California. What a shot from Luke O'Brien.
Just answers back the shot that Wolf could not hit if you're a Raiders fan. That's 3 lost points there for the Raiders. And down 13 now. Nice little pull-up jumper there off the mark.
Lawrence with the board, and the Raiders really starting to plummet right now as they're down 13, and they'll hold on to this one.
Sam, when was the last time the Raiders had a layup? They got to attack down low.
You're right.
Get some open looks.
You're right. Rogers, 48% from the three-point line. He has 1 on the evening. Will Barbera testing Rogers up top.
Gotta wonder if Columbine wants to go for that 2-for-1 here. They have a
Yeah,
chance to
I'm
do so.
surprised they wouldn't. Oh, wow.
A travel call there, back the other way. 2 Raiders players going down there, Sam.
Wow.
Luckily, nobody's hurt.
Little ice skating show going on the side.
That's right, and speaking of the ice, I had to bring it up, Sam. Regis Jesuit hockey team playing against
Yes.
Cherry Creek right now, revenge game. The Raiders won 8-4 last night. 6 different players scored goals, including our teddy bear first goal of the night, and a great showing by the Raiders student section as well.
And a big win yesterday, Jake. An exclamation win, I would say that
Lose
is.
your record to 5-2. You beat a team ranked in the top 15. They've now beaten Mountain Vista twice. Now they got to get some revenge today against Cherry Creek and move up that ranking a little bit more.
Clock's ticking. 12-25.
Who gets this last look, Sam?
It has to be Will. Unless he kicks it to Michael. Oh, did he really try to do that? Kyle Sandler.
A little too nifty there with it, down 13 points.
Oh, that's going to... Whose ball? That's Raiders with 1.8. So, Jake, I would say here, look for them to set an off-ball screen for either Michael Wolf or Will Barbera and let him get a corner 3 to end this half. Let's see what...
Coming to check the scoreboard,
Ooh,
I
a
think,
foul.
here.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, testing the clock, maybe.
Boys in stripes wanted to take a little break there.
Yeah.
Run him some water or something.
Yeah. Kyle Sandler, off-ball screen. Looking for Will Barbera, fadeaway jumper.
That's his shot.
No good.
Nice open look there from Will Barbera. Had the shot he wanted, could not connect there, and the Raiders down 13 at halftime.
So a great first quarter for the Raiders, and then an absolute explosion offensively by Columbine, led by their senior leader and superstar, Luke O'Brien. Couple bits of news before we go to our halftime show. Jake, In-N-Out Burger is coming to Colorado.
Oh my goodness.
How excited
I was
are you?
waiting for this moment all my life,
gosh.
Sam, and it's finally here.
Yes.
It's going to be a little competition between them and Five Guys, so
It
I'm
is.
excited.
Ooh, and trust me, it'll be a good one because I love Five Guys. But In-N-Out Burger going to test their luck. And second, Nuggets playing 2 nights tonight, Jake. We talk about Cleveland tonight. That should be a pretty solid win. And then the Clippers, but Paul George isn't playing, so that'll be a fun game. And
I think for the Nuggets, too, bouncing off that, Sam, I think you're more nervous about these games that you're expected to win. A game like the Cavs, a team that could sneak right underneath you and get that win. I mean, I'm a little scared for that game, a little bit more so than the Clippers, a little bit less pressure in that game with that big Los Angeles team.
yeah, we'll see what they can do. They have the guys to beat them. We're going to take a quick break here on the Raider Sports Network. We'll see you in a little bit. Sam Stern, Jake Stewart back with us, Patrick Carlson, and Ben Gelfand. We'll see you later. Thanks.
Raiders, I'm Monroe.
And I'm Cassidy.
This week on RJTV, we take a look at our prestigious speech and debate program, Wrestling Season Hype, and Leighton Hall with Live Witness News.
That and more this week on RJTV.
start things off,
Welcome back. We're listening to some Collins Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight. Okay, but we're going to start here. So, Jake, thank you so much again for being with us again. But I have to ask you a couple questions. Luke O'Brien obviously finished off the half with a great last-second three-pointer and 9 points. But all around, talk to me about that second quarter specifically. Obviously, it was an explosion on their end, but what can the Raiders do to just stop it?
Yeah, from what I saw, I think you got to get it more up there, especially on the three-point line. You can't let O'Brien shoot, especially, but anybody on this team can shoot if you're Columbine. So if you're the Raiders, you really have to work on your defense. I know the defense really wasn't there in that second period. And going on the offensive side of things, you got to get open once again. You got to give ball screens, high lows, picks, anything you can to get the guys open. You need some layups, you need some open looks. We haven't seen enough of those. Not enough turnovers, Sam. They got to be more aggressive.
They do, but Jake, they have the capabilities to get it done. They have the talent.
As you see Will Barbera there, he's so talented. He's one of the better defensive players. He's really stepped up his defense the past few games as well,
agree.
and I think that's why you've seen Coach Shaw ride him out towards the end of the games.
A wide open three for Columbine.
There it is.
Book it.
You can't close out on that, Sam. That's what happens. Wide open from the corner, and they make you pay.
That defense just isn't going to cut it from the Raiders, and it's now a 16-point game. Alonzo Paul mid-range.
That's a good look for him. That mid-range jumper right at the free throw line. He'll hit that all day long.
Great shot from Alonzo Paul. He now has 4 points in this game. Working the dribble is Rogers, looking for an open man. That was Potts. Getting it over to Rogers, a pretty looking jumper, but no good.
Just getting these open looks, and there's a wide open look for Alonzo Paul. And Sam, that's how you attack. As he gets the roll there, there's the second chance points, and you do the defense on one side, you turn it into the offense and the score on the other side. That's the way you play basketball.
Luke O'Brien, kick out to Rogers, spin move, way up! No good, but they call a foul. No way, give me a break. That's what you call soft.
Gee, Sam, I first looked at Rogers, and I thought he was a sixth grader, but it says here he's a junior in high school, but he's sure on those handles looked like he was a grown man. Those are some grown man handles and some grown man shoes, Sam. What are those shoes? Can you explain those to me?
Those are some Kyries, which I have to say I respect. I'm wearing my Kyries I got from former Raider Travier Craddock, who's now the starting point guard at Northfield High School. Customized some nice Regis Kyries. Good friend of mine. Will Barbera coming up the court. It's now a 14-point game, 30-16. Let's see if Will Barbera can get things going offensively. He has 4 points off of 2 mid-range jumpers.
Raiders doing a good job of moving now. Just got to get the ball out of Paul's hands. Find that open man down low, Sam. Let's see him get big down there.
Blakely Stoughton. 2 dribbles, almost a turnover. Ty Bergman trying to save it. Doesn't. And Lawrence recovers it. Terrible offense from the Raiders. Very stagnant.
Just sloppy play there. They're trying to get open, but just can't hold on to the ball. That's simple mistake there from the Raiders.
Lawrence looking for Luke O'Brien. To the corner to Potts. Pump fake. Sidestep. No good. And Ty Bergman loses it off of Lawrence's hands, the coach says.
And that's now
ref says.
That's now 3 good looks in a row from Columbine from three-point land, and they've only made 1, Sam, but the Raiders are getting a little lucky here. They're not making the Raiders pay so far. Only down 14. This is where you have to answer if you're the Raiders.
Michael Wolf pump fake. Long mid-range jumper's good. His form is so perfect, Jake, isn't it? He's really put the work in.
One of the most beautiful shot forms you'll see here in high school basketball in the state of Colorado as well. The Raiders are making their jumpers right now, Sam, but they still have to attack down low.
Luke O'Brien push off.
Yep, all day long. Great defensive stop from the Raiders.
A little theatrics there as well from Blakely Stoughton, but nonetheless an offensive foul on the 6'8". Luke O'Brien. Sub will check in, potentially for Luke O'Brien it is. Does not like the sub. It's going to be Bryant checking back in the game. Bryant has not scored yet this afternoon in this nice matinee.
And Sam, four of those guys out right now for Columbine are seniors, so a lot of leaders on that team. They know they want to win right now, and so does Ty Bergman, bringing the Raiders back within single digits. 10 points now to score.
Great, pure mid-range jumper from Ty Bergman, who had 10 points and 10 rebounds last game for the Raiders. Not a good shot there from Rogers. He hurried it. Alonzo Paul gets out of the trap, and a foul on Rogers.
terrific play there from Alonzo Paul. Sam, if you're the rest of the Raiders, you got to crash in for that board. Little man Alonzo Paul gets it, and he takes it himself, draws the foul there, but you got to get more open for Paul. They trapped him inside and had an opportunity steal there from the Raiders.
Alonzo Paul working the dribble. Paul behind the back over to Ty Bergman. Pump fake three against Lawrence to Will Barbera. Has a chance. Take it. No good. Great shot.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. Why not shoot that if you're Will Barbera? That's been his look all season long. He hasn't gotten some shots to fall, but he's been finding open looks here.
And a timeout for Coach Clay Finkel. Jake, I'm liking the offensive looks the Raiders are getting. Defense, I still am not happy with it. I mean, as much as you could say they're missing shots, not because of our defense, that's just because they're missing shots.
That's right. I think Coach Kenshaw will probably draw up a defensive play here, maybe switch things up a little bit, try and get somebody on O'Brien. But the defense has been a little bit better in this third period so far. Sam, you know what else I'm liking? I'm liking the Regis Jesuit girls basketball team being here supporting their brothers, Coach Maddie, along with Avery Van Sickle, Sam Jones, and a few other of those players showing up tonight. You love to see it.
You do, and Jake, you talk about that girls basketball team. They're making a great season without Fran. Avery Van Sickle and Jada Moore have really. I remember last time we did the broadcast, we talked about leadership with those two, and they've shown it.
That's right. We talked to Avery Van Sickle on the broadcast, and she told us how much this season means to them, especially without Fran. They know they can carry the load, and they've done just that so far in this young season for that team.
Ty Bergman, Michael Wolf, Alonzo Paul, Blakely Stoughton, and Will Barbera, the main five starters for the Raiders. Coach Shaw has messed with a bunch of different starting lineups this year. Potts almost mishandles it. Great bounce pass. Turnover. Blakely Stoughton.
They got numbers now, Sam. Michael Wolf's going to take it coast to coast.
Oh, wow. That was a hard one.
Foul. That's one way to foul if you're Columbine. Don't even give him a chance for the and one. Smart foul there.
And Michael Wolf will step up to the free throw line where he's shooting it well, 77% from the free throw line. Obviously, I would expect 80s from someone like Michael Wolf because of how much shooting he does, but 77% is good.
With that shot for him, you expect everything to go in as the Raiders cut it down to single digits now. And Sam, we can already say it now in the third quarter. The Raiders doing a lot better job of attacking, drawing 3 fouls now on Columbine. So far, so good in that department.
And Rogers just went out with his 4th foul. Look to that as Michael Wolf nails both. And Luke O'Brien checks back in for him. That's a big one, Jake, because Rogers is their second best player and scorer.
As you see the leading scorer there, O'Brien with it. Trying to do some work there.
That was a little hard.
Will Barbera helping number 13 up.
I love the aggressive play, though, Jake. Sure, it was a foul, but sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you've got to do it and be aggressive.
It's always great being aggressive, and I know Coach Kenshaw would say the same thing, playing defensively. You want to play great defense, it starts with aggressiveness, and there's
Will
a nice
Barbera.
block there. Good help defense, but in recovery there by Will Barbera, Sam. It could have been an easy layup, and he gets the foul there, so he sends number 23 to the line now for Columbine.
Roman Hamilton will check in after the first free throw for Will Barbera.
You just look at that guy, Sam. You know, we talked about the hair, the shoes, and Justin Lorenz. He's 6'4", 235. That guy just looks like a man right there. He probably plays football and eats his Wheaties every morning.
He probably does. Gosh, that hair is just something I've never seen before, that hair color.
I don't know what they feed those kids down there in Columbine. I try to do a field trip and explore, but
yeah,
next time I'll have to go back. And
didn't get to see the school. Left immediately.
I didn't get to. A couple security guards and some wrestling kids, and that's it.
Yeah. Michael Wolf. Up top to Alonzo Paul. They're swinging it. Alonzo Paul. Ooh, stunner! Alonzo! Oh, my goodness!
Oh, man.
Gosh, that crossover!
Shake and bake. Alonzo Paul.
Ooh. Shake and bake into the middle.
He's got hair too, Sam. Look at his hair. All right.
Got a little spice on that one.
Giving Lawrence a little run for his money tonight, and those shoes looking good as well. Are those 2 different color shoes, Sam? I think they are.
Kyrie's as well.
Okay.
And I like the style. Are they 2 different shoes?
I think they might be. 2 different color, that's for sure.
Yeah,
red
possibly.
And white, supporting the Raiders.
Possibly.
Missed the first one.
Alonzo Paul not shooting free throws well tonight. Today he's 0 of 3 so far, and they need everybody making free throws, but especially Alonzo, who draws so many fouls for this team. He misses another one.
And I didn't get to add my input on the keys to the game prior to this one, but I think my main thing, Sam, would have been make your free throws. This is a team, like I said, I'll say it one more time, 9 out of their 10 games within 10 points, single digits. They got to be able to finish, and you can't do that unless you make your free throws.
And that's going to be on the floor, as that was actually a great take in the middle for Columbine. That was number 1, Allward, being aggressive. Roman Hamilton guarding the inbound, but they get it into Potts, who's working the dribble. He's hit 1 3 today, a pretty nice 3 as well, into Lawrence. Lawrence.
So he stepped out
Out
there.
of bounds,
Raiders
turnover.
ball. Nice defensive stop on that possession once again for the Raiders, and you got to turn that defense into points now, Sam, as they're trying to hustle it up the floor now as Alonzo Paul.
Alonzo Paul looking to Ty Bergman. Pump fake in the middle. Nice decision to get it over to Mike Wolf, who's their highest scorer with 15 points per game. He's a junior. He's talented and aggressive.
Got to continue to be aggressive from downtown.
Short. That was the most wide open shot of the day. Exactly the shot he wants.
That's a shot and could have cut the lead down to 6. Remains at 9 points. Got to turn that defense into offense. Got to do it again now with this Raiders defense.
Luke O'Brien, cross-court pass. Allward, bucket.
All
Pretty.
day long. You see O'Brien setting up that offense by himself. He throws that feed across court. Beautiful pass there. Beautiful three-point finish.
Roman Hamilton over to Blakely Stoughton. Ty Bergman, pump fake. Trying to get the screen assist for Michael Wolf. Bounce pass, pump fake, blocked
O'Brien
by the CU buff.
It was a good initial pump fake there to get the first defender out from Ty Bergman, but good recovery there from Bryant.
Bryant able to keep the dribble. Luke O'Brien takes it strong himself, misses it, fighting for it. It'll be blue ball. Great hustle from both teams, but Columbine will prevail.
And Sam, from what I've seen so far in this game, I think the Raiders have done a decent job down low. It's the outside and the perimeter that you got to be able to defend, and those three-point looks have been there all night long for Columbine. I want to say 6 of their last 7 possessions they've attempted a 3, and it's been open just about every time.
Geraltz checks in for Columbine, number 4, as well as Kyle Sandler for the Raiders. They get that one inbounded to Allward, over to Luke O'Brien, and he's fouled by Roman Hamilton.
You like him playing up a little bit, but that's just a little too much aggressiveness, bullying there from Roman Hamilton up in his face. You got to keep him on the side, as one of the fans just said. You can't play from behind him like Roman Hamilton was.
Jake, it's quite the job having to defend Luke O'Brien, who's such a versatile big man. And as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Jake, he reminds me of Ben Simmons, a better shooter, but a guy who's tall, handles the ball, maybe even a LeBron James. He can handle the ball, but he's a 6'8" big man.
And he just blew right by Roman Hamilton.
Oh,
and
my
the foul.
goodness.
Sam, I was just going to add with O'Brien, and nothing against Roman Hamilton, but I don't think that he's a guy you want on O'Brien. I think O'Brien's a bigger guy. I think that's what you bring somebody like Will Barbarian in for, somebody who plays with emotion, maybe even a guy like Michael Wolf on him, but just taking it to the rack for the and one. Beautiful play by O'Brien.
And 3 players converged on him, Jake. He had 3 guys basically hanging on to him, and he still gets the and one with his off hand. That's exactly why he's playing D1 basketball.
He hits the weight room, and he hits it hard, as now the Raiders down a 15-point margin. They're going to have to come back now if they want to get in this one.
Kyle Sandler. Wide open Ty Bergman 3. No good, and they need these wide open jumpers that they keep getting. Potts gets it. Don't be surprised if we see a Coach Shaw timeout soon.
Just a little cherry picking underneath there from Columbine, getting the easy bucket. And Sam, the Raiders have not had any easy shots all game long. They have to find that look down low.
Alonzo Paul is fouled going to the basket.
Saw that lead being cut down as far as 7 points, 9 points, but the Raiders, Sam, they just can't keep it going on defense and offense. They can't play both sides of the game, just one going all night long.
No, and they can't buy a bucket either, Jake, as that has also been a struggle. It's going to be a timeout for the Raiders. They're going to gather their thoughts. You're going to hear from Chase Allen after this game. Again, as we mentioned previously in the broadcast, he's injured. Sadly, he got injured in that Cherry Creek game, hurt his finger. He has a small cast on it right now, but It's a big loss, Jake. Obviously, I'm glad we have Clay Nanke that we can bring up from JV. He's a big man. He'll help us rebounding the ball. But as an overall leader mentality, someone who did a lot for you off the bench and was a solid player as a whole, it's a big loss.
I think we were all so excited for Chase Allen coming into this season. One of these guys, his first year on varsity, a lot of potential, his ceiling was just so high coming into this year, and to see him go down was a tough loss for the Raiders. But like you said, Sam, you have guys like Clay Nanke stepping in there, and Nanke could come in and be a force to be reckoned with as well. Nice pass inside to Wolf. Michael Wolf, good strong take, no foul there.
Kyle Sandler was trying to gather that rebound, but ended up losing it over to Luke O'Brien.
All right, Sam.
How about a pull-up three? No good. And a big foul. That should be on Columbine. Yep, it's on Columbine.
Just about to bring up the fact the Raiders hadn't had a stop there since Hector was a putt, but a nice job there on O'Brien. O'Brien had another open look. That's his shot all day long. And as you see Van Sickle checking in here, his sister's clapping on the sidelines.
Rowan Hamilton will check off, and Archer Van Sickle will come on, who's been getting his minutes are inconsistent on varsity, not JV varsity, but in his minutes he takes control, and he hasn't really been a primary scorer, I would say, but has that capability. And Jake, he's only a freshman. I'd give him 2 more years, and I think he'll be the main primary scorer for this Regis team.
I think so. I think he's like a Michael Wolf Jr. almost with that left hand.
Agree.
He can strike from the outside and the inside, just like several of these players on the Raiders. Got to work on his defense a little bit, but one of the youngsters on this team, he'll grow as he grows in experience.
I agree. Lonzo Paul finally makes that one. Let's see if he can get 2. Got it. Those were pretty. And that's what they need for the rest of the game from the Raiders. With a minute 20 left to go in this third quarter, down 15. Luke O'Brien just missed a pull-up 3. Crossover dribble against Kyle Sandler, takes it all the way and got it!
Luke O'Brien will not be denied tonight here at Regis Jesuit, getting anything he wants down underneath and outside.
Michael Wolf, a 3 from the corner. Short.
Just a bad shot there, Sam. I mean, the Raiders are just shooting left and right here, and nothing is falling right now.
Luke O'Brien going to take his time with 50 seconds left to go. Over to Allward.
Raiders need a spark in this game. They're going to try and bring Blakely Stoughton in.
Potts to Bryant in the corner. Luke O'Brien, I would not be surprised if he just holds it and waits for a last shot opportunity. He's got the smaller Kyle Sandler on him.
Smart player as well as O'Brien. He knows that open look. He knows when to wait. Alonzo Paul, though, a nice stop there on defense and timeout.
Great defense from Alonzo Paul and a timeout for Columbine, as we will take a timeout here on the Raider Sports Network to catch our breaths. Just kidding. Welcome back. Luke O'Brien's going to receive this one from Allward.
Sam, the Raiders in this fourth period, we're still ending the third quarter, but one of the things they have to work on, they have to be able to score, attack the bucket. 52.2 points per game. They only have 24 entering the fourth period.
Luke O'Brien, a fadeaway 3, and he is fouled.
Oh my goodness. Horrible defense there from the Raiders. You got to understand it's just game decisions there, game calls. You look at the clock, 6 seconds left. You cannot foul this guy, and now he'll go to the line. One of the best free throw shooters in this team.
3 free throws coming up from the 2B D1 players. He nails the first one, and Luke O'Brien, poised, talented, big. Oh, he's going to be big time, Jake. I think that he's going to really change the already talented CU Boulder team and make him even better with the talent that he brings. He can really do everything on the floor.
And for those Buffs fans out there, CU, one of the better basketball teams in the nation this year. As you see, 2 seconds left on the clock, trying to find Stoughton. Foul called on that play, going back to CU. This is a team that really hasn't been there all these years since they started, but this year they're a ranked team in entering the March Madness, Sam. They're a team that could be a surprise or a spoiler that advances pretty far.
Luke O'Brien not happy with Potts after he fouls Blakely Stoughton with .6 on the clock. Let's see if they can convert on these much-needed free throws. First is good. And that's something, Jake, that I've talked about with you multiple times. Stoughton's free throw shooting and shooting as a whole, still not a three-point shooter threat. But mid-range and free throw shooting, Jake, he's gotten a lot better. He's talented.
He is talented. I think he grows as his team grows as well. As you see, 18-point deficit. And Sam, I think with all these tough games you play, you see throughout the season, Raiders, one of the toughest schedules we've ever seen since we've been here at Regis. But I think it's a learning experience for Coach Shaw. I know a lot of these teams they're playing this year are just top forces in the state, and some of them even in the nation. So you learn from this, you grow from it, and hopefully that brings you on to next season. And a lot of young players on this team to grow from.
Both sides are going to talk this one over, and we will enter this fourth quarter with you in about 2 minutes. Stay with us. Well, my bad. Welcome back. Michael Wolf, Ty Bergman, Archer Van Sickle, Kyle Sandler, and Blakely Stoughton will be the 5 coming out onto the floor to finish off this fourth quarter. O'Brien, Potts, Allward, Rogers with 5 fouls, and Lawrence will be the 5 for Columbine, hoping to execute a win against this struggling Raiders team. Kyle Sandler, pump fake.
I want to see Bergman get down low and just bang with the defense here. His offensive foul called there, and charge, and the player down there is number 24. Bad sight there for Jeff Potts, one of the senior leaders of this team. He looks to be okay, though.
He's bleeding a little bit. They'll check him out. Straight to the face. Bryant will check onto the floor for Potts, who will be checked out by the medical staff. Another offensive foul, Jake. And here, I guess here's my question to you, and I've thought about this. Is it age? Is it that we're a young team, and that's the reason why we're losing? Because this is a senior team we're playing. A lot of these guys are seniors. Is that the difference? Is that the main difference, or is it something else?
I think you just look at this team over the past, just the 4 years we've been here, Sam. It's just a winning mentality. Coach Ken Shaw, I'll ask people all around the state of Colorado, everybody knows him as a winning coach, and to not be able to win even just 2 games this year has been so hard on this team, and I think just continuously losing it really cracks down on your team, and the youth combined with that, you talk about it, Sam, it hurts.
Lawrence, the little up and under to the basket. What a take from Lawrence. Archer Van Sickle to Kyle Sandler. Archer Van Sickle working the dribble. They need a basket. No good. Highly contested jumper. Luke O'Brien's coming in transition. What a pass to Lawrence. But it turns over.
Raiders got to go quickly here. Get it out of your hands, Blakely Stoughton. And waited too long on that play. And looking like a saucer there was number 23 for Columbine. My goodness.
God, Lawrence. I thought Lawrence was going to destroy our table.
Oh, my goodness.
Patrick coming in strong.
Scary sight there.
Yeah, Patrick peed his pants in the middle of the broadcast.
Oh, my goodness.
It's okay, Patrick. I'll get you some toilet paper.
You have a 235-pound man coming at you, Patrick Collison. And Patrick's not far off from him. He could give him a little bear hug, and those 2 guys.
Well, he doesn't have his mascot suit on that adds a couple pounds, too. So,
yeah.
Kyle Sandler, a contested 3. Not a good shot from Kyle. And he knows it, too. That is just not a good shot.
For the Raiders, back-to-back bad possessions on offense, and now you're forced to play defense. 7 minutes left to go here, and time waning down on your possible second win of the season. Not looking good for a Raider fan.
Rogers over to Allward. Wide open in the corner is Bryant. Not a three-point threat. Luke O'Brien, the board put back. He's now up to 20. He's fantastic.
I saw Bryant look over at Brian. He said that was a pass, and O'Brien probably said, dude, you hit the top of the backboard. I mean, not even close, and that one's way off again. Another poor look from the Raiders.
Here comes Bryant, and the team is faltering right now. Really struggling, and a timeout for Columbine. It is somber on the Regis side right now, if you were a fan or on the team. So, Jake, we look to the rest of the season. Obviously, the farther we get into the season, the easier the games will be as we look into the schedule. We play teams like Ponderosa, we play teams like Legend, we play some of these other teams, but even then, Jake, there's got to be something that this team can do. I don't know if it's another lineup switch. I don't know if it's a change in rotation, change in play. There has to be one thing that they can change to at least improve, because obviously, yes, it was great that we won last game, but that was simply because George Washington was not having a great game either. Both teams still didn't play great. There has to be something they can do.
I mean, you talk about it. They're being in every game. They've been in almost every game except for the game we saw against Boulder to open the season. It's just a matter of finishing, and you got to be in the right mentality coming into every game. You got to be able to want it. You got to want to win it, and the Raiders just haven't shown that thus far in this season. I mean, some rays of sunshine looking into this game. You look at Archer Van Sickle, he gets some minutes. You give those young guys some minutes, but I know for a leader like Will Barbera out there right now, it's frustrating to have guys around you just not stepping up, not wanting it as much as you do out there.
They finally get a miss from Luke O'Brien with the left hand. Archer Van Sickle gets it. Great take from the young freshman with the layup inside. 28-48, it's a 20-point game with about 6 minutes left to go in this game. Rogers, stutter dribble. What a pass in the inside. What a pass from Rogers. Go from the behind the back into the inside.
Raiders just falling asleep on defense now, Sam, as Blakely Stoughton, another contested look. He puts it home there, and I know Coach Shaw looked at him there. If he would have missed that shot, he would have probably went to the bench, but good job capitalizing on that opportunity. Foul called on the Raiders. What a shot there by O'Brien, just throwing that one up to the Raptors, and it converts there.
Luke O'Brien just laughing right now as he's toying with this Raiders team right now, and this team is talented, Jake, so I don't want this to seem like we're getting upset with the Raiders because they're losing to a bad team. I mean, this team's number 5 in the state. This is the real deal. But we are going to be playing some teams that are lesser, and it's going to be a matter of beating those teams to see if we can even have a chance at making a run when it comes playoff time, Jake.
And I think even then, Sam, you look at this team, nothing comes easy. Their next 3 games are road games. Yes, the teams might not be up to par of the games you played the last couple, as you see Archer Van Sickle square away or 3 there, but you still continue to play on the road. Nothing coming easy for this team this year, and it's just one of those things you got to fight through and continue fighting throughout this season.
Here comes Luke O'Brien. Stutter. Rogers, oh, that's definitely a travel. He was doing some Earth, Wind, and Fire, Let's Groove right there to that one. Again, we got hockey going on right now. Check out our Instagram and Twitter social media coverage. You got Sophia Marcinik there today showing the coverage. We'll see how that game's going. 0-0 right now, according to Patrick Carlson, our lead analyst for hockey. High check. From Luke O'Brien.
Slamma-jamma, putting it home. Luke O'Brien putting the Raiders away with that one. Oh my goodness, Sam, is he an athlete or what?
Luke O'Brien skying for the one-hander. What a take from the senior. And he almost gets the swat, but a foul instead. Ooh. That would have been an emphatic swat, but Luke O'Brien has his name covered all over this Columbine season. He has been fantastic. They're going to bring in Clay Nanke because they need someone tall to stop him right now.
Just a flush on that play. And, Sam, I haven't seen a dunk that just surreal and amazing, to say it frankly, since Francesca Bellevi with this Raiders girls team.
As Blakely Stoughton will check out. I won't be surprised if that's it for him for tonight and they let him rest. A tough one for him. Not one of his great scoring nights, to say the least. As Kyle Sandler misses 2 free throws. Will Barbera gets blocked by Luke O'Brien. He's a cheat code.
And they run back the other way quickly. The Raiders got to hustle back on defense and finish this game out strong. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here.
Allward over to Rogers. Pump fake. Oh, that was a pretty move, but can't finish.
Sent Kyle Sandler on a plane. Texas there. Couldn't capitalize. Wolf had Will Barbera wide open in the corner and takes it to himself and drawing the foul there. Nice job by Kyle Sandler. And Sam, I want to quickly point out, you look at this Raiders team, there's no standout scorers, but you have Michael Wolf putting up 12 points and 4 rebounds, Kyle Sandler 10 and 6, and Blakely Stoughton 10 and 4, but you haven't consistently seen a night where all these guys have been there every single night. And I think last game we saw a little glimpse of that, and we saw Will Barbera stepping up as well, but I think you need a full game from all these guys, and I think playing these lesser teams might do that to you, might bring a little bit of a motivation, a momentum swing if you're the Raiders, but you want to see all your guys stepping up, and you just haven't had a full, complete game yet this season.
As Fulcher checks in for his first time, the swinger from JV Varsity checks in for the first time as a varsity member. Very shifty player. He's like another version of Alonzo Paul, but he's not a left-handed shooter. As Ty Bergman checks in for Kyle Sandler, and that should be the last of him for the evening as well. Not an excellent performance from him as well.
So some youth out there for the Raiders, some guys you don't normally see getting some minutes. Archer Van Sickle, Clay Nanke. Still have Will Barbera out there as well with Ty Bergman leading the charge.
High pass. Columbine leaving pretty much their entire starting lineup out there, even though they're up by 22. Luke O'Brien, wide open three, that form, but it's off.
Just every time that guy shoots the ball, you think it's going in, similar to Blakely Stoughton, but man, O'Brien, he's quite the leader out there, Sam. He'll play defense as well. He'll play on both ends. CU's lucky to have him. Will Barbera, there's the look he wants. Nice shot from Will Barbera from downtown.
Will Barbera nails the three-pointer. Now a 19-point game with 3 minutes left to go. Let's see if they can pull off an improbable comeback. Maybe even impossible. Thank you, Patrick, for the positivity. Luke O'Brien wanting to end those hopes, and he does.
Patrick,
no, he doesn't.
This is a Catholic school. Anything can happen. Come on, Raiders.
Rogers holding on to it. Crossover dribble, Rogers. I wouldn't be surprised if they just hold on to it.
Is his face okay, Sam? I remember him getting smacked a couple minutes ago here.
I think that was Potts.
Potts, okay.
Who's out right now. I think he's actually down in the room getting checked on right now. He might even have to go get some stitches. It looked like it was a pretty deep hole.
Thanks for the visual there.
You're welcome.
I haven't had my lunch yet.
You're welcome. That one touches the top of the backboard and down for Bryant, his first basket of the game. A different free throw form, to say the least. And we're going to see number 10 for Columbine, Jones, check in for the first time today. As Bryant has one more to go, and it's off. Fulcher with the board. He has Clay Nanke on the left. Barbera crossover, mid-range, no good. He has great handles, but the jumper's not there.
Just a tough one for the Raiders. Once again, down 20 points, and this is one of those few games that Raiders haven't had a shot in all game long. It's been all Columbine. Raiders haven't. Sam, have they led in this game? I haven't seen a whole lot.
They have not, or they led at the end of the first quarter, and that's it.
Clay Nanke taking a fall there. It's a tough player.
Fulcher still recovers it. And he finishes the acrobatic layup. Fulcher. And the crowd loves it, his first varsity basket.
Love to see it. A little shifty play there. Fakes out the first defender and puts it home off the glass. Nice play there from Fulcher, and he's one of these bright spots on the team, and so is Van Sickle. He's playing a nice game as well, Sam.
Will Barbera guarding up high against Rogers. Minute 30, the clock is winding down.
Will Barbera, nice job stepping through the screen there. Raiders playing hard right now, despite being down 18 points.
Luke O'Brien, they're just going to take their time. They're in no hurry. Rogers They're just playing around with it at this point, Jake.
Can you give me a pillow, Sam? I'm going to take a nap here in a second.
Get a sleeping bag out.
Why not?
As this clock winds down, a tough one, Jake. Another loss on the records. They're going to move to now 1-10, and obviously not a type of season that we're used to seeing from a Coach Shaw-led team. But sometimes it's just the cards that you're dealt with, and it's the schedule.
That's right.
The schedule was tarred.
You know you're going to grow over time. You're going to get better. We talked about that, but it sure does look a lot to me, Sam, like rebuilding mode for this team. You're looking at some youth, some young players, and you still have some talent on this team. A lot of talent still there, and opportunity now for Will Barbera. Takes it himself and puts it home there. Will Barbera having a nice fourth quarter here for the Raiders. But you talk about it, Sam. You just a losing recipe for this team. If you're going to give up 55 points a game and you can't put up over 40 points, it's a recipe to lose, and you gotta play better, both defensively and offensively. A lot of work to be done here at practice for Coach Ken Shaw.
So the Raiders will lose once again. Another tough one. It's tough, Jake. We're not used to seeing this. From any Raiders team, not let alone boys basketball, but it's tough. And any last thoughts before we close this one out for the day?
No, I mean it is what it is. It's a tough game. You learn from these type of games. If you're a team like this, it's just you keep learning, you keep trying, and hopefully you get better over time. An easier schedule coming up. You look ahead, Sam. Dakota Ridge, Heritage, and Thunder Ridge. So 3 teams you can take advantage of. Hopefully 3 wins can come out of that and turn this season around. End it on a high note.
So we're going to bring more sports back to you over the next weekend, and we're going to keep them going strong. This break is not stopping us from bringing you coverage. We're going to end it off here. Again, Jake Stewart, Sam Stern, Patrick Carlson, and Ben Galfand helping us out. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.